If you're getting ready for the IELTS exam, you know that every single point is precious. But what if I told you there's a simple, one-word change you can make right now that could seriously boost your score? Well, today we're going to break down exactly what that is and how you can start using it immediately.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about a super common trap. It's this little habit that so many students fall into. And honestly, it quietly pulls down their scores, especially in the writing section. And the trickiest part, you might be doing it and not even have a clue. So I have to ask you straight up, is your writing secretly working against you? Are there these little habits hiding in your sentences that are actually preventing the examiner from giving you the score you deserve? It's something you really got to think about.
Take a look at this sentence. The man walked very quickly down the street, he was very big, and looked at the house carefully. I mean, technically, is it correct? Yeah, sure. But let's be real, it's pretty boring, right? It tells you what happened, but it doesn't make you see it or feel it. And for a top score on the IELTS, just fine isn't going to get you there.
And here it is, the heart of the problem. This combination, a kind of weak verb like walked plus an adverb like quickly, this is what I call an invisible point loser. Why? Well, because it's the easy way out. It lacks the punch, the precision that examiners are literally trained to look for.
But, and this is the great part, the fix is actually really simple, and it's incredibly powerful. We're just going to swap out that weak little two-word phrase for one single dynamic word. This is what we call the strong verb solution, and trust me, it's a total game changer.
So what even is a strong verb? Well, think of it this way. It doesn't just tell the reader what's going on, it paints a vivid picture right in their mind. It shows the action, the emotion, the intensity, all packed into one awesome word. Now this is where the magic really happens. Just look at the difference here. Walked very quickly becomes sprinted. Wow. Looked carefully transforms into scrutinized. And spoke very loudly just explodes into roared. You can feel that shift in energy, can't you? That's the power we're talking about.
All right, let's put this into practice. We're going to take a couple of those typical kind of weak sentences and give them a full-on dynamic makeover. You're about to see just how easy and effective this is.
Okay, here's our first before sentence. The crowd spoke very loudly when the goal was scored. Again, nothing is grammatically wrong, but it's just flat. It has zero impact. It tells us what happened, but we don't feel any of that incredible excitement.
And now the after. Roared. Boom. That one single word captures everything. The sound, the passion, the raw energy of that moment. It's shorter, it's more exciting, and it's just way, way more impressive.
Let's try another one. This one uses the verb to be, which, is often the weakest verb you can possibly choose. The new skyscraper was very big. It states a fact, but it creates absolutely no picture in your head. But what if we said it loomed? Whoa, now that word is doing some serious heavy lifting. Loomed doesn't just mean big, it implies a shadow, a sense of power, maybe even something a little threatening. It creates an entire mood with just one word. So yeah, it sounds way better. But you might be wondering, why does this actually matter for my score? Great question. Let's pull back the curtain and look at this from the examiner's point of view. It all boils down to this. Using strong verbs directly pumps up your score in one of the key marking criteria called lexical resource. That's just the official term for how they grade your vocabulary, how wide it is, and how precise it is. So when you choose a word like scrutinized instead of looked carefully, you're signaling so many good things to the examiner. You're showing them you have an amazing vocabulary. Your writing instantly becomes tighter and more sophisticated. You're proving you've mastered the language, not just learned the basics. And honestly, it just makes your ideas more interesting and memorable for the person who has to read hundreds of these essays. Okay, now it's over to you. Because knowing this stuff is one thing, but actually doing it is what builds the skill. The only way to get better is to actively hunt for these weak verb-adverb combos in your own writing and swap them out. So let's end with a little challenge. Here's the sentence. He was very angry about the news. How could you make that more powerful? How would you replace was very angry with a single killer verb? You could say he raged, or he fumed, or maybe he seethed. You see? Each one gives his anger a completely different flavor. That is what precision is all about. And that's really the big takeaway here. Stop just describing what happened, start showing it with powerful, precise, and dynamic verbs.
It feels like such a small change, but it's one of those things that can truly elevate your language and help you get the score you've been working so hard for. Good luck.